Hey there, and welcome back to Autism in Color. For today's video, I want to share what I was like growing up and how I missed getting diagnosed earlier in life. As a young adult, I was diagnosed with autism and attentive ADHD, social anxiety disorder, and a specific learning disability in math, or what is more commonly known as dyscalculia. By sharing snapshots of my kindergarten, elementary, middle school, and high school years, I hope to show that neurodiversity is not a one-size-fits-all experience. We all experience and express ourselves differently, and each person's story is unique and valuable. So let's start with kindergarten. I was so excited to start school thinking that it was the ultimate place for learning. I kept telling everyone, "Hello, my name is Ariel and I'll be going to school tomorrow," but kindergarten turned out to be a nightmare. In junior kindergarten, I tried to make friends with the other girls, but they thought I was strange because I always tried to correct them. When they pretended a stick was a magic wand, I would just say, "It's a stick." I didn't really want to listen to what my teacher would say and preferred to do my own activities, making transitions difficult. Since I did not understand social rules, I was bad at lying or keeping secrets, and I didn't listen to what our teacher wanted us to do. I felt left out. This led to not being invited to playdates, birthday parties, and getting into trouble a lot in class. I guess I was seen as shy yet defiantly passive aggressive, not really connecting with the school's social expectations. When we moved again, I hoped a new school and a new school year as a senior kindergartner would give me a chance to make friends, but on my first day, my new classmates completely ignored me. During snack time, I had cookies and the whole class shouted at me. The teacher told me only healthy snacks were allowed, even though we had cookie and juice day at the end of each month. At that point, I knew things were going to go downhill from there. I kept on getting in trouble for being distracted, like daydreaming, looking out the window, or doodling during circle time. The fluorescent lights in the classroom made it hard for me to focus because of their hum. Once I wanted to play with the other girls in senior kindergarten, and they told me to wait until they were done, but they never came back. I also remember a girl next to my cubby getting upset when I tried to connect with her through humor. I would say things like "surprise," and she shouted at me saying that there is no surprise. I felt so sad at her rejection. To cope with not having friends, I found solace reading books and drawing in the cubby area, pretending to invite friends to my own imaginary party. My senior kindergarten teacher noticed my social oddities and attention issues. She gave me a hard time for my lack of social skills, excitability, forgetfulness, and distractibility. Once I interrupted her repeatedly to give her a letter for a scholastic book order, not knowing I should wait my turn. She got furious and said that I should know it's rude to interrupt others. Another time, she told me not to be like a dog when I got too close and excited to share something with her. I didn't understand then, but now I know she is talking about my lack of spatial awareness in terms of giving others their personal space during a conversation, albeit through a poorly chosen simile. Now on to elementary school. Kindergarten was a rough start for me socially, and it set the tone for much of my early school years. Due to my frequent social faux pas, I remained silent during first grade and most of elementary school. In first grade, I excelled in reading but struggled with math and writing assignments. I often drifted off, staring out the window or sketching on my class notes instead of paying attention. My teachers would ask me to summarize what they had just said, and I'd have no clue, which made tests nerve-wracking. Despite my challenges, I loved writing short stories and poetry, even though it took me longer due to my perfectionism with handwriting. In second grade, shortly after my family moved to a new home, I started a different school. At first, I thought I had made a friend. We even went on a field trip to the zoo together, which excited me because animals were something I loved learning about. However, things took a turn for the worst when she began to bully me. It began with her mocking how I pronounced our teacher's name and escalated to her excluding me from recess activities and group projects. I felt isolated not just from her, but also from other students and staff. Even receiving the school newsletter became a point of exclusion when another student told me new students weren't supposed to get one. From 3rd through 5th grade, I faced ongoing challenges socially and with sensory processing. I sat quietly at the back, daydreaming or doodling on my class notes. While I had a few friends, they mainly befriended me for homework help, not because I fit in socially. I didn't quite get their lingo or interest in Disney Channel shows, music taste, or fashion. Despite not fitting in with neurotypical black kids, I found a sense of belonging with this group of black girls who, while befriending me, we also got in trouble together for being too loud or not paying attention. This mix of acceptance and misunderstanding masked my social confusion and sensory issues. These traits, which could have pointed to ADHD and autism or what would have been Asperger's syndrome under the DSM-4 at the time, went unnoticed, especially as there were no visible role models who looked or presented like me. At home, I sought refuge from school chaos by establishing routines to cope with hypersensitivities. I laid out clothes for the week and showered at the same time daily for comfort. Sensory sensitivities influenced my clothing choices. I preferred loose clothes with pockets for collecting items like leaves or feathers, and had to cut the tags out of my clothes because they felt itchy. I also had a meticulous way of organizing my toys and collectibles on my shelves, finding comfort in the orderliness I created for myself. Masking my autism at school was an everyday struggle. I kept my head down, doodling on my class notes and daydreaming to escape the overwhelming noise and chaos around me. On the surface, I appeared distracted but not disruptive, hiding how overwhelmed I truly felt. At home, the weight of this constant masking would come crashing down. Alone in my room, I had silent meltdowns, crying quietly into my pillow, feeling the frustration and exhaustion I couldn't express during the day. Getting my hair done was also a nightmare. The feeling of the comb against my scalp sent shockwaves through my body. My mom, not understanding my sensitivity, would call me tender-headed or tell me I was being too sensitive. The smell of the hair products, the tightness of the braids, the entire process was torturous. Holding my neck at odd angles while sitting between my mom's lap for extended periods was a real challenge because of my low muscle tone. She thought I was being difficult on purpose, being a diva or having an attitude. She dragged my neck into the right position, frustrated with what she saw as my stubbornness. But it wasn't stubbornness, it was the discomfort, the pain, and the struggle that she couldn't see. I also dealt with dry skin and eczema on my arms, which only added to my discomfort. The constant itch and irritation were battles I fought daily, all while trying to keep up appearances at school. As a black autistic kid, these sensory issues weren't just personal struggles, they were compounded by cultural expectations. Being called too sensitive made me feel like I had to toughen up to hide my pain and discomfort even more. But no matter how hard I tried to fit in, to mask my autism, the sensory overload and emotional turmoil were always lurking beneath the surface, waiting for the quiet of my room to let it all out. Despite trying to find stability at home, school remained challenging. My teachers moved me to the front of the class to improve my focus, but I continued daydreaming or sketching, missing important information. My academic performance suffered, especially during tests and with last-minute assignments. Although my teachers saw potential, they were frustrated by my inconsistent participation and organizational skills, urging me to engage more in class, improve my listening, and take more initiative in my schoolwork. By 5th grade, I felt increasingly isolated at school and wondered why I was different from everyone else. I struggled with algebra, paying attention in class, and remembering instructions for activities. Socially, keeping up with the friends I made was difficult, and sensory stimuli were overwhelming. Despite these challenges, I excelled in art and music, which became my refuge. During arts and crafts lessons, my artwork often served as a positive example of quality work for the whole class. Ironically, I received a pamphlet for an integrated arts program for middle school and decided to audition. Out of all the 5th graders who tried out, I was the only one who was accepted. I'll stop here for now, but stay tuned for my next video where I'll dive into my middle and high school years. Thank you so much for joining me today, and remember, in our true colors, we find our strength. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe,